Talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. The Intellectual Podcast starts now.
Before we get started in anything, it's a weird night to be celebrating anything with everything that happened in Las Vegas this weekend. And I just want to take a moment to let everybody know that our thoughts and prayers are with those in Vegas, but we can't let any terrorist action of any type, homegrown or otherwise, stop what we're doing. And so we're going to continue to celebrate the things that we've accomplished on this show. And with that, we're going to move forward. And I think the best way to move forward on our 200th episode is to start by moving backwards and taking a look at 4 years ago when we first started the show. Here's a bit of audio from the first episode of the Intellectual Podcast with me and Steve Schwartz.
You're listening to the Intellectual Network at theintellectual.com.
And now your host, David Dawson.
Oh, you know, I'm sure we could come up with something to talk about for an hour.
Yeah.
We're kind of chatty Cathy types. While I'm chatty, you're more Cathy. So, I'm sitting here with Steve Schwartz.
Hello.
And Steve and I go back over a decade or so now.
Yeah. It looks like, 1999. 2000.
Yeah.
Around that.
2000 time frame.
Yep.
Yeah. When I went to Palomar for radio and television, you were already there.
Yep. Been there.
And, you were the strange old Jewish guy in the program, and I was the weird, kind of slightly older than most students, half Filipino kid.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's how we started.
Yeah.
You and me just shooting the shit.
Yes.
You're still the old Jewish guy?
Still
You're
the old
half
funny old
Filipino
Jewish
guy.
Yes.
I dress a little better these days, though.
Yes.
So does Steve, for that matter.
Yes. Yeah.
So sitting with me here now are two of my favorite co-hosts. I love all my co-hosts, but Mark Atkinson, Steve Schwartz. Steve Schwartz, of course, has been there with me from the beginning. And Steve, let's talk a little bit about when I started the podcast.
Yeah.
This was on the heels of me doing my reunion podcast for my high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to you, hey, I want to do a podcast like The Nerdist. Just me interviewing people. What did you think when I first told you I was going to do it?
I thought it was really ambitious. I thought, okay, there's something else we can do together. And hopefully we were hoping that it would grow into something bigger than what we were doing.
Because those first few episodes were literally just you and me sitting around just talking like we normally do.
Yes, and it was mostly the first one was you berating me for having an opinion about film.
Which is pretty much like we always do.
So, I don't like remakes, and you're saying that I'm wrong for not liking remakes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say you're wrong for not liking remakes. I said you're wrong for saying people shouldn't do them.
Well,
so there's a distinction there.
Well, okay.
Some remakes suck. I mean, that's all there is to it.
The Kingsman, you see it yet?
I haven't seen it. The sequel?
The sequel? Well, sequels, I don't mind. It's when, Kevin Smith on his podcast, he has got a segment called No Thanks, We've Already Got One. Mm-hmm. And they discuss the fact that, we've already got them. We don't need another one.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So it's more about remakes?
Remakes. Yes, remakes.
And reboots. Versus sequels.
Yes, remakes and reboots. I mean, to me, Spider-Man has been rebooted to death. And
although you have to admit, this latest round has been pretty much perfect. They finally got it right.
Yeah, they finally got it. I mean, Marvel has dominated in the superhero genre. So
it's true. Mark, when did you first start hearing about the podcast? Was it when you came on?
Probably before I even knew what a podcast was. No, we did a short film for the 48 called.
Was that Unlucky Charms?
Yes. I almost said
The one where
else.
Steve's face is
What's
in a
the
bowl
big-
of milk for an hour?
Oh, what's the big? No, yes, the cereal bowl movie.
Hey, we haven't even made 10 minutes and What's the Vig's come up.
Yep.
Hey, the peanut gallery's laughing. What's going
Yeah.
on? Nothing?
Nothing. Somebody making a
I'm
comment.
losing it over there.
They're having technical difficulties.
Okay. Stop watching porn.
So you came and did Unlucky Charms, and that's when you found out about the podcast.
You were talking about, I'm like, that's cool. And then, I don't know, a couple months later, I'm like, hey, you still doing that? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, you need a guest? And you're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right, cool. And it was like January of 2015.
Now, if I recall, you came in, did yours, and then Merrick's.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And so you were a guest and then immediately a co-host.
actually, dude, I think...
Or did you co-host first
I think
and
I
then
was a co-host first, then
you
a
co-hosted
guest.
first and then you were a guest?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
a little backwards.
Yeah. And I was a co-host again.
As I recall, that first year, Steve, the goal was to just make sure we put an episode out
Yes.
every week, no
Yeah.
matter what the episode was.
Yeah, and it was
The goal was just to put something out.
Tall order.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of stupid things that I did in my life that Dave wanted to discuss on the podcast. So,
Hashtag 2 fingers. If
Yes,
you haven't listened to
especially.
that episode, be sure to go check it out.
Masami, if you're out there anywhere, I'd want my shirt back.
As I recall, there was also one episode where you, me, and my cousin Eric,
Yes.
we sat around, and I think I was probably high. I was high a lot in those first set of episodes.
Nice.
Well,
Is that why you were laughing so much?
yeah.
Or
Well, I just
they were
started.
that
I
funny, or
I
you were
just started
that high?
taking medicinal marijuana for my
Okay.
migraines, and it had been 30 years since I'd had anything of
Okay.
any variety.
Yeah,
you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and, I don't do anything.
My stories weren't really that funny.
I don't know.
Okay.
They might have been that funny.
Everything was.
So-
They were
folks-
really funny at the time.
If you really want to know if I'm funny or not, light up.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah.
So after a little while, our friend Carla Van Wagener started tuning into the show,
Carla, if you're listening or watching,
and
hello.
she was. Carla says, "Mark, you got to hold your mic better." So
Oh.
Carla
Okay, good to know.
Carla asked me if I was interested in having celebrity guests on the show, and I was like, "Well, yeah, that's kind of the goal, right? With any sort of interview shows, to
Sure.
start getting some celebrities on." And she said she could help out, and I was like, "Okay, well, if that's possible, that'd be cool." I wasn't sure what to expect. People oftentimes jump in and say they'll help out, but never really follow through. And Carla jumped in, and within just a few weeks, landed us 2 interviews at the Belly Up here in San Diego with Martha Davis of the Motels and Allison Arajeda from American Idol. Allison ended up being a pretty regular guest on the show over the last 4 years. But Martha was technically my first celebrity interview. And I was incredibly nervous. I mean, I started the whole podcast with the idea that I needed to get out and talk to people and force myself in some way to actually chat with people, because it's not a natural thing for me to do. And
Well, it wasn't then.
it wasn't
It wasn't
then.
then.
Maybe
No.
it is now. I don't know. But it's also part of the reason why I think I was high through a lot of those first set of episodes. It was just easier to get through it, even though I was talking to my friends like Steve. But I sat down with Martha, and Jessica Drain joined me. She was co-hosting with me for a long time in those early days as well. And we went to the Belly Up, and we sat down with Martha Davis in the green room while Allison Arajeda and Halo Circus were playing on stage. And I'm going to play a little bit of that interview with Martha for you now, and you can see just how nervous and weird I was. All right? So let's roll it. And you're playing here at the Belly Up, which is fortunate for us, right in our backyard.
Awesome.
So it's nice to have you here. You are a major part of my childhood. I'm
The corrupting part.
well, I'm the MTV generation. I grew up. I was in grade school when MTV kind of launched, and I remember your music videos and your music. I remember my mom singing your songs, because my mom's a singer, and she used to sing your songs all the time.
Sweet.
And so when I found out that we were going to get the chance to talk to you, I was kidding.
Awesome.
So this is the 3rd iteration of the Motels?
Oh, no. There's been many, many motel. Well, there was the original Motels that moved down from Berkeley, California. And then there was the Motels that got signed to Capitol Records. And then after that band broke up and I left Capitol Records, then there was a series of bands. There's been a lot of motels in my life, but this band that I'm playing with now has actually been together longer than the original Motels. We've been together over 10 years now. So, all except the hunk of where'd he go? Oh, he's gone. Brady's the newbie. He's been here about 3 years, but so it's actually a band that's been together quite a while, but not the third incarnation. I don't know how many incarnations.
Well, it's hard to gauge that. 'Cause, all I've got to go on is Wikipedia and whatever.
Yeah.
That's how they.
I don't even remember all the people that I don't. I just.
Well, you've had a very, very long career, and you started out in the 70s, right?
71 was our first gig. 1971, the original Motels from Berkeley, California, played a show in San Francisco at a place called Project Artaud, which I don't know if it's still there or not. It was like an artist warehouse. And we played our first gig on Halloween night, 1971. And there was a naked man painted blue dancing in front of me, and everybody was on acid. Not me, but it was a crazy night. But that was the night when I went, I have to do this. Not because there was a naked man painted blue, but just because once I got over my stage fright, got on stage, it changed me. It was like, split personality, because I was a very shy, very terrified girl, and then I got on stage and turned into some kind of like staring in people's eyes and dropping to my knees and but only during the music. In between the songs, I'd go back to being this like totally. So yeah, I found out I was schizophrenic.
Well, it's like playing a character.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you go on stage and you play the rock star.
Exactly, and you get to.
So that was me with Martha, and I think you can tell I was pretty nervous. I had prepped for that by checking up on Martha on Wikipedia and listening to her songs, on Spotify and whatnot. And I totally psyched myself out. She was such an icon in the 80s, and it like dawned on me, like, this was a woman my mother used to sing, because my mom was a singer and would play her music when she was performing. And it just, I don't know, it totally weirded me out.
You're like Chris Farley when he interviews Paul McCartney.
Yeah. So, Martha, there was that time you did that thing. That was awesome.
You once said the love you take is equal to the love you make. So is that true?
Yeah, but it was crazy that, like, just suddenly to be sitting in the room like that, it was like, who am I? I've gotten over that. I think, but it.
Now you're like, do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? I'm David S. Dawson. But no, it was a lot of fun, and I got to thank Carla, especially. Unfortunately, Carla couldn't be here tonight because she's landed herself a new job, and it's keeping her busy. And we're very happy to hear that, Carla. We wish you all the best with your job. She'll still be a part of the Intellectual. She's still going to be working with us and helping us get guests and stuff, but she's got herself a steady income now, which is good. So it's good for her.
Good for you.
Must be nice.
But Carla, without you,
yeah,
we wouldn't be able
just
to
be me
do
and him talking
anywhere near
my
as many of the things
life.
we've done. Yeah, it's been incredible, and we'll get to some of the big things that we were able to do here pretty soon. So you guys have been my co-host. Like, Steve, you've been with me since the beginning.
Yes.
Mark, you've been with me since year 2.
Yes. Chapter 2.
Season 2, chapter 2.
Sure,
We've never quite figured out the season thing or whatever with the show. But it's been this thing. Jessica Drain was with us for a while. Krista Naomi Garcia was with us for a while. And for the last year, my regular co-host has been Whitney Wegman. Mm-hmm. And she came on board and like immediately jumped in with both feet and started producing as well as being a co-host. She got us some incredible guests. Nathan Darrow from House of Cards and Gotham. He played Mr. Freeze on Gotham. And and just a slew of people. I mean, she's been incredibly generous with her time, generous with her Rolodex, and has done some amazing things for the show. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it here tonight because she's got a rehearsal. But she did send us a video and wanted to convey her thoughts to us. So let's have a look at that right now as well.
Hi, Whit.
Happy 200th episode, Intellectual. I can't believe it's been an entire year of me being David's co-host. This has been crazy, and I am so glad that I get to be a part of this show, and I'm really sorry that I can't be there tonight. I am knee-deep in rehearsal for American Carnage by Amy Greenberg, so I hope you guys get to come see it, and I can't wait to watch the live stream later.
Yeah, are we back? We got audio? Are we here?
Hello.
This is so disturbing.
And
this
we're
live
back.
thing.
It's weird.
So our director, producer Brian, just like made us shift stuff around. So we're looking at this camera now. Does Mark need to move in?
Mark, you move in a little bit. Yeah. Sure, like closer in.
Yeah, we'll just move you a little bit closer. We're just a little finessing of things. I guess Steve's bright white shirt didn't look so
Hi,
good. Hi,
David.
Oh, hi, Mark. It's been a while.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, baby Groot.
Now we're looking at Mark's back. Us.
Hello.
Hello, doggy.
So anyway, it was great for Whit to drop us that message, and we wish you were here, Whit. We miss you.
We have a request for a throwback shout out to Sci-Fi Sunday.
Sci-Fi Sunday.
Jessica Henson.
Wow.
Yes,
Hello,
Jessica. Is Jessica watching? Yep. Hi, Jessica. Hi, William. So
Hi, Riker.
when we started the Intellectual Podcast was actually the second podcast of the Intellectual Network. And then we launched everything with a show called Sci-Fi Sunday, which we did on Sundays. But the logo was an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Made up of like sci-fi jargon. But that show typically was myself and Steve and Jessica Henson and William Henson, and Teresa joined in and Brian would join in, and we talked about everything sci-fi and comic book and fantasy and whatnot for 30 something episodes. It was like 36 episodes of Sci-Fi Sunday on top of the 200 episodes of The Intellectual that we've done. So we've done a whole lot of podcasting since we started 4 years ago. Schedules and life drew Jessica and William away. William was in the Navy and got stationed somewhere else, and they drifted off. And Jessica Drain was part of that podcast as well, and she has moved on. She's a happy mommy now and doing what she's doing with her family. And Sci-Fi Sunday just kind of ended quietly with a little whimper, not so much of a bang. But thank you guys so much for being part of it at the beginning, Jessica, William, Jessica Drain. We love you guys. We wish you guys could be here with us more often. And we're glad to hear that you guys are watching. It's so cool.
Iris says hi, watching from the Philippines.
My Auntie Iris, all the way from the Philippines, watching us live.
Hello.
This is
Nice.
Incredible. Hi.
It's Wednesday morning there.
This feels really real all of a sudden.
Yep, it just got real.
We're global. We're global,
Wow.
baby. So anyway,
Back in the Philippines.
back to the things that Carla did for us. Carla got us that interview with Martha Davis and Allison, and that led to just kind of a steamroll of events that I could not have foreseen.
Open.
Yeah, because we interviewed Martha on a Wednesday here in Belly Up in San Diego, and that weekend she was performing at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and she invited us to be her press guests to cover her red carpet and to cover her concert there. She was celebrating her birthday, and it was also the Whiskey's 50th birthday.
Wow.
And so Jessica Drain and I found ourselves 4 days later up in Hollywood on the red carpet at the Whiskey A Go-Go interviewing Lamb Chop and Leif Garrett was there.
Leif.
Yeah. Leif Garrett. But it was insane. Like all of a sudden we're standing there. We went from you and me talking about, random bullshit in my dining room to Jessica Drain and I standing on Hollywood Boulevard or whatever.
And Leif Garrett.
Like interviewing celebrities on a red carpet and then getting VIP treatment inside. It was incredible.
That's incredible.
I got to meet some porn stars. I'll just leave it at that. And that was a lot of fun. But we had a really great time. And then various PR people saw us doing what we were doing on that red carpet. They were interested in what we did. A week later, we went back up for the Grammys, and we covered the red carpet for Trevor Guthrie, who was nominated for a Grammy with Armin van Buuren. And we were interviewing Lance Bass and, all these other people and another porn star. And it was just incredible. Everywhere you go in Hollywood, there's always a porn star. I just want to mention that.
This is true.
And then you and I went to the Philippines.
Yep.
And spent some time with my Auntie Iris. Hi, Iris. Hey. And the rest of my family. And but while we were gone, we were offered the opportunity to cover the red carpet at the Night of 100 Stars Oscar viewing party, which, I never would have imagined 3 months, 4 months after we started the podcast, we'd find ourselves standing on a red carpet interviewing the likes of Jon Voight. I didn't want to do that. And I had just gotten back from the Philippines and I was pretty exhausted. But what we did is we sent Jessica Gerain and my sister Laura Marie Davis, and Brian was our cameraman, and we dolled them up, sent them off with a hairdresser, got their hair and makeup done, sent them out to the red carpet, and they did some red carpet interviews. We're going to look a little bit right now at some of the coverage they did there, including their very random interview with Jon Voight, who they just managed to get to stop and talk to them on the red carpet. He wasn't really walking to do interviews.
He's asking for directions.
Hi, I'm Jessica Gerain.
And I'm Laura Davis.
And we are the Intellectual. We are here tonight at the Beverly Hills Hotel for the 23rd Annual Night of 100 Stars Oscar Party.
We are super excited for tonight. We're running the red carpet event, doing the interviews with 100 stars or more, and we don't know who's going to be here tonight.
So excited. Please stay with us for the ride and enjoy the show.
TriCaster.
Way more than 100 stars here. I think some people overrepresent. I think it's a little underrepresented. Maybe that's Norby's style, cool and smooth.
So, are you rooting for anyone tonight?
Yeah, well, I'm in this little movie called 12 Years a Slave, and a lot of people in that movie. I'm very excited. I hope they win.
Hope all of them win, right?
Yeah, I hope they all win tonight.
On your Oscar, who did you call right after?
I had trying to remember. I think I could probably call my mother immediately. Yeah, that's
a good answer.
That's the first. Well, I had a fellow in my life. I when I got the job of the Midnight Cowboy, when I found that out, I was with a fellow who was a homeless man, and I had him in my apartment to get him out of the rain. And I got the call. I said, I'm going to get a call very soon to see if I'm going to get this role, which will change my life. And he said, I hope you get it. I pray you get it. And I went to the phone. I said, come on, let's see what we got. And I got on the phone, and I got the job. I said, I got it. He said, I pray you get it. And I said, what should I do? Who's the first person I should call? He says, call your mother. She'll be so happy.
There you go.
So that's right. Call your mother.
Call your mother.
She had your mom for you.
I'd just like to, with that comment, remember my own mother, who passed away a little over a year ago, and was such a supporter of everything that we do, and always had such joy watching the things that we did. And we miss you, Mom. There's just no other way to say that. What we got going on over there? Is there any questions from anybody?
Yep. Missy just asked, who was your favorite interview?
Who was my favorite interview?
Any or all?
Actually, that's going to be a really, really good segue into our next round of videos. Shotgun Tom Kelly I think has been my favorite interview. I've got to interview him twice now. And Shotgun Tom, if you're not from San Diego or Southern California, he's a radio personality here in San Diego and LA. And he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's larger than life. I've got up here on the shelf the Shotgun Tom bobblehead and his hat, his Ranger hat's back here behind me from when he came on our show and did our TV show. Shotgun Tom was on TV and radio all through my childhood, and he was somebody I listened to and watched and grew up with. And I suddenly found this opportunity to get to sit down and interview him, and he was incredibly gracious and so warm and kind, and he invited me over for a party at his house. I got to meet all these legends of San Diego and Los Angeles radio and television, some of whom have been on the podcast, some of whom I hope to get on the podcast someday. And even after the interview was done and in the time since that interview, he's been open. If I've got questions, if I just want to call him and chat, like he's open to do it. And he's really kind of become a mentor and a friend, and it's just been this incredible thing that like little 10-year-old me would be like, no way. Like, that's unbelievable.
I remember I walked up to him, I approached him at the Film Awards, and I was saying, I just asked you think it would be okay if I asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast? And said, if you can get him.
Well, that's the secret too. Like in public settings, when we see somebody we want to interview, I'm not the guy who walks up and asks because I'm terrified. I always send somebody else. When we got Bowman Modine, I sent you guys to go talk to Bowman Modine.
At
that film festival.
Was it me and Brian, or maybe just Brian?
I think it was you and Kristen. And
it was.
Shotgun, it's pretty funny. Shotgun kind of came to me in a couple of different ways. You talked to him at the Film Awards, and Bob Gardner talked up the intellectual to him as well. And Shotgun talks a little bit about that himself. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video.
Hi, this is Shotgun Tom Kelly here in Los Angeles, and I can't believe it. The Intellectual Podcast with Dave Dawson. 200 videos is what you're celebrating. I remember when Bob Gardner came up to me and said, hey, Shotgun, have you been interviewed by Dave Dawson yet? I said, well, no. He said, you really should be. I was. Dave, you did it. And I've gotten a lot of people who saw it. Anyway, congratulations on your 200th video for the Intellectual Podcast. And I know you're going to have many, many more.
Hey, David. I'm here getting ready for a new episode of Tonight in San Diego. Just wanted to wish you congratulations on your 200th episode of the Intellectuals Podcast. Way to go, man. Keep on rocking.
Right.
Yeah, so a couple of our local celebrity hosts.
That was our guys with beards and glasses segment.
Hey, that's me sometimes.
Me too.
I guess me too. Wow, what is it?
Age. It's age.
You're edging into your 40s. So.
Now, we had a couple of questions that you guys had mentioned right as we froze up.
I think Kilno was asking, what are you wearing? It was a red carpet question.
What am I wearing?
Who are you wearing?
Who am I wearing? This is Sears, I believe. Is that right? Sears? The jacket's Sears. The shirt is... No, the shirt. This is a Ocean Beach shirt. OB.
Nice.
Represent. And then just Walmart slacks.
This is the Men's Warehouse collection.
Now Mark is the one wearing the interesting top.
Yes, I've got a custom-made intellectual T-shirt.
He's got the Intellectual Entertainment T-shirt.
Keep on wanting to push off the wall on the right camera.
It's to spin.
There it is.
I love this shirt. He's the only one who's got that shirt.
With the logo that you made.
Yeah, that's the Intellectual Entertainment logo.
This was the 2.0.
Yeah,
the original. I have the original one too. Remember, I had hats and T-shirts for.
Right. Yeah, well, that's not the podcast logo. That's the company logo.
Right. Podcast logo. Right.
The new podcast logo looks like the X-Men.
Yes.
Doors.
It does.
The brushed metal X.
Another question.
And then what was the second question?
It was Robin asked, how has the podcast influenced your filmmaking?
Oh, yes.
Doing more of them.
Yeah, we've done more films.
Yeah.
I think starting with the interview with Michael Brueggemeyer, the podcast really kind of opened up my view of working with other people more and collaborating on a larger basis with other teams, other individuals who are out there. It's really expanded our network, and just being on the podcast has expanded the network because we're out there talking to people. We're meeting all sorts of different people in the community. Sure. And I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I mean, same thing. No, I met a lot of people through the podcast, and then I eventually worked with them.
Mm-hmm. And as I recall, when you came on, like you had just moved back from like Long Beach or something fairly recently.
No,
or it'd been a little while, but
I mean, I did live in LA, but no, it's been years since I moved.
But I remember talking to you, and it was like, come do the podcast. It'll be an opportunity to meet more people, talk to more people.
I think that's what I was coming back into. Making films, acting. Yes, because I was,
so
retired.
Really, the podcast has been
retirement.
It's been my networking ace in the hole.
Yeah,
really. Mm-hmm. And actually, speaking of people that it's allowed us to meet and work with, Merrick McCarthy and Michael Brueggemeyer, both from the Amalgamated Grommets, and both are intellectual teammates as well. They've worked on our films as well. They also sent us some videos, so let's take a look at what they sent to us.
Hi, Intellectual Entertainment. My name is Merrick McCarthy. Of course, I just wanted to send you a nice note to thank you on your 200th episode. Congratulations. I've been a guest on your show, and I've known David Dawson for years now. You're one of the best friends that I have, and you're one of the best people that anyone could know. So I want you to know that, and that we do really appreciate you. The entire crew at Intellectuals. You guys are continually bringing on new people, interesting guests, and having a really fun and fascinating podcast. And I really want you guys to keep up all the good work. So best wishes and congratulations, and I hope to see you soon. I'm sure I'll be a guest on your show coming up sometime soon.
Congratulations to the Intellectual Podcast for your 200th episode, which is amazing. What's especially amazing about it is that throughout the entirety of it, you've had great humor, very funny stuff, very educational and inspirational stuff. Just a remarkable amount of quality that has been in-depth and thoughtful and really valuable. So congratulations to your 200th episode. And also, I hope that I'm the first person to mention this. Congratulations on mentioning What's the Vig 200 times. Well done.
Very nice.
I think Brueggemeyer's your biggest fan, Mark.
Yes. Very nice. Shout out, Mr. B.
Also, to Mr. B, shout out to your wife for finally getting you to display your Emmys.
Brueggemeyer mentioned to me that he had food poisoning last night, so really nice of him to get up and
thank you
and make that video for us today.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Big shout out to Merrick too. We saw you on Lethal Weapon, and if you haven't seen it, it's going to replay. You can see Merrick McCarthy on that instead of as a ferret.
and thanks, Merrick, for playing a ferret in one of our movies. That was a special treat. If you haven't seen it, it's Convolution. It's playing this weekend at the San Diego International Film Festival on Sunday as part of the 48-hour block. So come out and check it out. That was directed by my sister Teresa over there.
Big T.
Jeez.
Oh, Mike's got the mic again.
Yep. Missy asked, who would be your ultimate interview?
Steven Spielberg would be my ultimate interview. I would love to sit down and talk to Steven Spielberg. As a director, he's the guy who made all the movies that made me dream of making films.
Jaws.
That one shot.
These guys in Jaws. I'm surrounded by Jaws freaks.
Yeah. Good answer, Dave. Good answer.
The one shot in Jaws of Roy Scheider where he does that push in.
The Zolly.
The Zolly. That made me want to know how to make film. Yeah. So how do you do
hard.
that? I wanted to be.
I've tried it a couple of times. My little Quint parodies.
Yes.
Haven't pulled it off yet.
It's a very difficult thing to pull off.
Maybe a goal would be Richard Dreyfuss, though. No?
Well, and, Dreyfuss is a local.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's so smart, though. I'd be terrified to sit down and talk to Richard Dreyfuss. Like he just put me in an intellectual corner.
Well, that's what that weed stuff is for.
So I don't
what
care.
is it? You eat it or whatever?
You're medicinal.
Yes, you're medicinal.
Take your medicine. And
wow, I sounded like...
Hi, Merrick.
Hi, America. We just
watched your video, Merrick.
Sounded like a square from the 50s, huh? That's what that weed stuff is for.
Why don't you shoot up some of that weed?
Why don't you eat one of those marijuana cigarettes, David?
So one of the other fun things that we get to do is we get to talk to really interesting people, and there's a multitude of very interesting people here in town. And I remember we had the Kilnas on the show.
Oh, that was fun.
And that was around the time that the show was like morning drive time. It was like 5 of us co-hosting, and we had 2 guests, and there was booze flowing, and like whatever.
And we were doing like 7 or 8
the golden era.
We were doing like 5 days in a row. We do like 3 a night. We were all doing them at Mark's house.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was like the kind of, I don't know what, I wouldn't say it was the height of the podcast, but it was certainly when we had just like an incredible amount of momentum going. We were doing 2 a week.
Yeah. Couple a day though, right?
Yeah, we were doing a couple of
3 a day or something.
2 or 3 a day. We'd be at your house like Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And we'd like just record
literally Monday through Thursday.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. And in that time we got to meet the Kilnas. I had admired their films for a while. And then finally getting to sit and talk to them and really, really get to know them was great, because I kept seeing them at events.
Right.
And like, those are the Kilnas. Hi. And I wouldn't go and talk to the Kilnas. But we got them on the show and they've become friends. And I've actually got to hang out with them in Austin now. They're living in Austin at this time. And I got to go spend some time with them while I was there doing some shows recently. It was a lot of fun, and they sent a video in as well.
Cool.
So let's take a look at what they sent in. Cool. I have seen it. It's fun.
Okay.
Hey, Raven.
Yes, Kilner.
Why do we have these bras on our head?
Because it's ceremonial.
What's a ceremony?
It's the 200th episode of the Intellectual Podcast.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Let's get back to it. David S. Dawson. Real life David S. Dawson.
Hey everyone, this is Dwayne and Robin. You might recognize us from the 48th edition of the Intellectual Podcast about the 48-Hour Film Project.
That's right, and also the 163rd edition of the Intellectual Podcast, Dwayne and Robin Return. We want to wish congratulations to the Intellectual team on 200 episodes.
200 episodes, and we look forward to being on the episode number 480.
That's right. Congratulations, guys.
Oh, that is awesome. That's awesome,
Nice.
right? The Kilnas doing the weird science thing killed me, man.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Raven's like, did you see it? I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. She's like, you see little jumper cables? I'm like, yeah, it's incredible.
It's great.
It was so funny. Little photo of me on the carpet. I was like, that's amazing. And Robin and Dwayne actually went back and checked out what episode numbers they were in, which made me go back and check out everybody's episode numbers. So in all these videos, it's hard for us to see the screen from where we're sitting here, but for all these videos, it says what episode number they're in at the bottom. So when I was prepping all the videos for this, I had to go back and remind myself what episode everybody was in.
Yeah.
But so much fun.
Good job, guys.
And crazy to think that Robin and Dwayne first came on the show in the 40s. Right? And then they came back in the
1940s?
No.
Sorry.
The 48th episode was the 48-hour film project episode.
Wise guy.
We love both of these couples. The Kilnas make absolutely incredible, fun movies, and Robin and Dwayne provide such opportunities for everybody in town to get together, to commune, and to make film. And
thank you for everything.
Intellectual Entertainment has been part of the 48 since 2007. We've made 10 48-hour film project films and another 4 Points and National Film Challenge films, and it's been a wild ride every time. And thank you guys so much for all the work that you put in on the 48 and the National Film Challenge.
Yeah.
The Killman's just responded back. That's how we normally are at home, by the way.
Bras on the
And
hat.
shout out to Steve from
Just another Taco
Jeff
Tuesday.
Frankowski.
Jeff, thank you. Hi.
Who's Jeff?
Jeff Frankowski. He and I go way back into my early teens.
Wow.
When I was ancient. Yeah, he's in his 40s. I'm now
Looking over the 1940s.
Yeah, we were. It was called snail mail then. So we handwritten notes, but Pony Express.
There you go.
Actually, we met each other riding horses. To be honest, and he actually was sitting next to me. This is probably not one of the stories that I've told. Maybe it is.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
We were sitting on the rail while someone else was riding. His name was Al Smith, and he was riding a little dapple gray mare named Jump for Joy. And he was wearing his spurs, and you're not really supposed to. And he got kicked off the horse, landed on his feet, and ran out of the arena. But the horse was running around, bucking and kicking and running. And Jeff said to me, "Don't move." And the horse was running towards me, so I thought, I can catch him. And I jumped off, and Jeff says,
where this is going.
and he witnessed this because he said my feet didn't even touch the ground, and Joy spun and kicked, and
This is when you got hit in the head?
Yes, this is when I got clipped right in the head, right in the forehead. I still have a scar.
Oh,
This was in one of your first 10 episodes. You guys talked about this in your podcast.
Yes. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you talked about this in one of the very first episodes.
And Jeff was sitting there with his name was Kevin McGrath. We were all sitting on this rail, and one of the kids' fathers, his name was Bo O'Connell, grabbed me, and I said, I'm all right. And he said, no, you're not. And I just pulled my hand away, and I was just covered in blood.
Oh, man. Jeff, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for joining all the way from New Jersey. Thank you.
That's incredible. And giving us a trip down first 10 episode lane.
Yes.
It's a good story.
It's been 4 years. It's hard for me to remember exactly which stories Steve has told on the podcast and in person. So, we do what we can to remember, but...
It was a good story, but I got to say, 10% of me wanted the story to just deflate.
The great deflator.
That's the great deflator. But I'm glad it didn't, actually. I'm glad it panned out. You're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Becky says that explains a lot.
That's why I work in broadcasting.
Oh, that's hilarious. Speaking, we were talking about Unlucky Charms earlier.
Yes.
And, prior to Unlucky Charms, the podcast mostly was me, some friends that I'd had in film, and then these celebrities guests that Carla were bringing on.
Yeah.
And we hadn't really kind of opened ourselves into the local San Diego film market. But with Unlucky Charms, we grew the attention of Jody Silly of the San Diego Film Consortium San Diego. I can never remember which way those are supposed to go. I've only been dealing with the Film Consortium now for 3 years. But Jody came into our world because of Unlucky Charms. She asked us to submit it to the Fall Film Festival, which we did. And she accepted it, and we screened it there. And it was seeing all the films that people were making here in town at that Fall Film Festival that year.
Yeah.
That kind of reignited my passion for all the San Diegans who were making movies.
I'd have to agree.
And it was at that point that I committed at least 50% of the show would be about local San Diego filmmakers. And a lot of the success of the intellectual podcast, a lot of the success of the intellectuals in general, stem from that interaction that I got because of the Film Consortium reaching out to me and asking me to come out with our film. And it opened all these doors to all these people that we've been able to talk to here in town, all the amazing filmmakers that we've become friends with and collaborators with. And a lot of that has to do with Jody Silly. And I thank you so much, Jody, for your friendship, for your dedication to our community. And Jody sent us a message as well. And we're going to take a look at that right now, too.
Cool.
Where is she?
Hey there, Whitney and David. Congratulations on your 200th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. Thank you for including me and all the awesome people here in San Diego's film community as part of that podcast. Here's to 200 more episodes. Yay!
Hi out there in internet land, Mark Allen here. Just wanted to wish David and the whole Intellectual team a big congratulations on your 200th podcast here. I was honored to be on one of them, and I hope to be on another one soon. So keep it up, mates.
Awesome. Mark Allen and Jody Silly.
And Tiki.
And Tiki.
Yeah, thanks, Tiki.
Tiny Tiki.
And Tiny
Tiki.
Who I like to affectionately call Apple Care.
Apple Care?
Yeah, well, when Jody got the dog, like, she sent me a photo of the dog on the couch, and next to it was an Apple Care box.
Yeah.
Right? And she's like, look. And I was like, what, you got Apple Care? So what? Right?
Well, to be fair, Apple Care is pretty sweet.
Apple Care is pretty sweet.
So.
But
it comes with a dog.
But I've kind of refused to call the dog Tiki ever since because, like, to me, the dog's Apple Care. That was the first thing I called the dog. So I'm going to call that dog Apple Care till the day I die.
All right. Well, it did come with a 2-year warranty for me.
But no, wonderful. And Mark Allen, thank you so much for the message.
Mr. Allen.
Great hearing from you as well.
Otherwise known as the other Mark A.
And he just booked.
Maybe that's me.
He's probably the first Mark A, and you're the second Mark A.
He's older.
Just because
he's older.
I was the first Mark A to myself.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
To each their own.
You were on a national commercial.
But Mark Allen, I believe, just booked a feature film. So congratulations to Mark on that.
Very nice.
And, the best luck
You could also see Mark Allen in Here Comes the Deflation. I forgot it. Roadies.
Yeah, he was in Roadies.
He was in Roadies.
Showtime, which did not get picked up for a second season.
Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Ooh, that was a great deflating moment.
Yeah, that was a wonderful deflate.
Which is now canceled.
Yeah. Way to go. We're going to go ahead and take a moment to watch a little bit of coverage from Comic-Con. One of the great things about being a San Diego-based show is our proximity to Comic-Con. We have a lot of opportunities. For 2 years, we got to cover Nerd HQ thanks to Zach Gruber, wonderful PR person who gave us basically unlimited access to Nerd HQ, which was incredible. And that was a whole lot of fun. This year, we did not get to do Nerd HQ because Zach didn't do Nerd HQ. He hosted all of Sci-Fi's TV shows on the Sci-Fi Channel, which we did get to go to. Kayla Bolster and Mike Peterson and myself got to go see the Sci-Fi show. And Mike even got to go face-to-face with Stephen Amell, Arrow, while he was dressed up as Arrow, which was incredible.
I'd take him.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. But we had a good time on the streets doing Man on the Street interviews. Kayla and I went around and did a cosplay video. And you know, Mike helped with camera work and everything the whole week. It was just a lot of fun. So we're going to take a look at that while the rest of us have a chance to kind of powder and dry ourselves off because it's getting hot in the studio.
Getting hot in her.
Let's take a look at Comic-Con with the Intellectuals.
Hi, I'm Kayla. We're here day 3 of Comic-Con, and today is cosplay day. So I'm here. I've got my Star-Lord get up, Genderbender Star-Lord. Let's get some interviews from some of the people who are dressed up today, okay? What made you do a Genderbender Loki?
I think the boys have more fun.
Would you ever do Battle with Aliens again? I'm here with another Genderbender. This way, the opposite way. I think, right? As your Genderbender? I'm assuming. Look who I found! Another intellectual. Whitney Wegman is here with us, and she is also cosplaying. Tell me about what you chose and why you chose it.
So I went with Westworld this year because I figured it would be quite big. I think I need a little bit of cowboy hat to block me from the sun. I'm very, very pale. So, yeah, I went with Westworld, and this is actually a dress produced by Adela Custom Designs out of LA, and she's a really great designer, so if you guys need a dress for anything, prom, quinceañera, cosplay, she can do just about anything, and I mean, I think she did a good...
It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, give us a little twirl. It's gorgeous. Good job, Whit.
I don't know which camera we're coming back to. Okay, there we go. That one.
You pointed down the middle.
Which camera?
Nice. There we are. Great. Split right down the middle. It's bowling. Hey. Yeah, we had a lot of fun at Comic-Con. And you joined us for a bunch of the Nerd HQ stuff those first couple of years.
Yeah, I was just looking at one of the interviews, and I'm wearing a red beret for that show Colony.
Oh, yeah.
Is that show still on?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's still on.
There you go. Hey, Mark Allen.
At least last I knew it was still on. I think we're on that camera now.
Oh, okay.
Any more
Audition for
questions
that
from
show.
the audience?
No, Michael Shane just said he totally needs a prom dress, though.
Hi, Mushy. Yeah, Comic-Con's just a blast. I have so much fun there. I'm waiting to hear if I got my professional badge this year.
Same here.
I know Whitney got her info. Have you
guys
gotten
got
yours?
one last year, though, right?
No.
Well, I keep getting approved, but they want
Mike,
me to
have you gotten your
pay for
Comic-Con notification yet?
I have not.
No. Okay, so Whitney's the only one of us so far.
They
And
want
she got the
so much
trade.
money
She
for
got the trade show.
Oh, that's the best
deal.
one.
No, it's not. 'cause you
No, that's the one that you have to pay for.
You still have to pay for it.
No,
I mean,
Exhibitor's
that's
the best
That's
one.
one I keep getting approved for, and they want $250 for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we get. Either way, we will always cover Comic-Con in one way or shape or form. There's so much to do at Comic-Con, and I think it's
Too
just an
much.
important part of what we do every year. We've had the president of Comic-Con on the show. And last year we had Echo Kellum from Arrow on the podcast, which was really cool. So, I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. So, I mean, you can tell by all the crap on
We
the
even
wall
had
behind me.
Holly. We even had
Looks
Holly.
like,
from
Holly from
Lost.
Land of the Lost is a guest on the show.
She got me into Comic-Con one year.
KB Toy. Do you guys know what KB is? Is that a dated reference?
Yeah,
Well,
that is.
yeah,
but I do know
Spencer.
As dated as
Hot
Toys R Us
Topic.
is about to become.
Yeah.
Toys R
Yeah.
Us,
Toys R Us
BK
back
as
there.
well. But yeah, this is just a hodgepodge of toys from my house and Teresa and Brian's collection, and pretty much that's it. It's just the three of us. This is our crap.
Cards Against Humanity. That's a fun one.
Yeah. Play that high. It's fun.
We should play that live.
Oh, we should do that sometime. Let's do that. A live Cards Against Humanity game. That'd be great. Would that be a good idea? Does anybody think that's a good idea?
I'm down.
Post midnight, though, I'm thinking, right?
Cool. Mike, you got some?
Kayla just joined.
Hi, Kayla.
And Rachel Gallenberger says howdy.
Hi, Rachel Gallenberger.
Howdy.
Rachel did the hair and makeup for our Christmas photos and stuff earlier in the year.
Nice.
Or end of last year, really. Did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for that, Rachel. Glad you're a part of the intellectual team. And Kayla, welcome. Glad you're joining in. We just watched you at Comic-Con, so it was fun to see you doing your thing out on the street. Hey now. The red light, the gas lamp district. So we've got a few more videos. So let's take a look at these next two, and then we can talk about these individuals when we come out of it.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Congratulations, intellectuals, on your 200th episode.
Camera on right there. Oh, camera's on? Yep. Okay. All right. This here's Matthew McConaughey. You know what I love about the Intellectual Podcast? I keep getting older, and y'all keep cranking episodes out. You ain't no Fugazi. You're the real deal. You're like fairy dust, Well, up in the stratosphere, everybody listens to it, and they love it. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'd like to introduce my good friend, my main man, Randy Davidson.
Hey guys, congratulations on your 200th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. On behalf of myself and Cardboard Matthew McConaughey, keep cranking them out and bring us back.
Randy, goddamn Davis.
Very nice. Wow.
And Larry Poole. Larry Poole sends me a message today. He's like,
oh, Larry.
He's like, think it's okay if I have a horse sitting on top of me? Like, sure, Larry. So was he shaving?
He was filing
the hooves, right?
Yeah.
Filing the hooves.
He's
Larry's
a, guy.
a real cowboy.
He is. I was just on his ranch a couple nights ago. We might be doing a project together. No, we are. I am doing a project with you, Larry.
Where are the cameras?
See, I said I am.
Brian keeps moving on you real fast.
Right? And then,
Larry Poole's great.
Yes.
He's the president of San Diego Filmmakers. He's now the vice president of SAG-AFTRA in San Diego. Also, I think he has a representative seat on the national.
I think you're right. Yeah,
deal for SAG, which is great. He's out there working real hard, trying to help everybody here in town to.
He's just a great guy with a very interesting story too.
Oh yeah,
he
was on the podcast this summer. And
his Days in the Circus, and
it was fascinating getting to talk to him. He's an incredible human being. And every time I talk to him, I learn more about him, and it's always fascinating. Everything about him.
And he's a Jersey boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
he's
is
from
even
there.
funnier.
He's originally from
And Randy Davison, of course, is just he has one of the funniest episodes we've ever done.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, you guys
Steve?
were all sauced.
Yes,
we got faded.
We were.
Randy came in, did a normal episode, and you guys got drunk while we were doing that episode. And then we
There was
started
a part
kept
two.
talking, and I was like, we got to keep recording.
Yeah.
And the
what was
second
that? What
episode
were we
was
drinking?
Elephant.
It was
We were drinking Mexican scotch.
Mexican
Mexican scotch, whatever
And
that is.
Randy told like a 45-minute story about his
elephant
penis sock.
Elephant trunk and coin purse is what the episode is called, if you can
It was a
imagine what
classic.
that's referring to.
Yeah.
But he was on Masters of Sex, and he talked to us about his experience using a cock sock.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
and a merkin.
Merkin.
Oh yeah, Merkin was something we would talk about all
Yes.
the time.
Yeah, we used to talk about Merkins all the time.
Yeah.
When we went on Tonight in San Diego with hosted by Jeff Kraft at that point.
Yeah.
You
That was like the only thing I
you
said.
had your opportunity to
I didn't
talk,
say
and that was
anything.
the only thing you said.
Jeff's like, so what do you guys talk about? And I'm like,
Merkins.
Merkins.
It was a thing. We go through phases like anybody, I guess,
Yeah.
you know. But we have a good time. I mean, the most important of anything in the show is that we have a good time. I want it to be educational. I want it to be a chance for us to meet new people. But if we're not having a good time, there's really no point in doing it, right?
No,
definitely not.
Mike's ready to talk.
This is a good segue. Jeff said his favorite podcast was the ones where Dave and Steve is discussing their trip to Philippines.
Yeah.
While we were in the Philippines?
While we were in the Philippines.
He's really
Well, thank you.
eating like rat skewers or whatever it was.
Well,
we did the video where we ate all the weird foods.
Okay.
Yes, we
And I'm a vegetarian now, you know, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat any of those foods
No.
now. But
No, we
what a
had-
fun trip that
Yeah,
was.
I
That
mean-
was Steve's first time out of the country.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. It was the first time I ever had a passport. First time I ever took more than 2 days off of work. I took an entire month.
Well, and like you go to Thailand and stuff. You know,
I've been there multiple times. Sure,
multiple
Thailand.
times. So
Vietnam,
you know what that kind of
Southeast Asia.
cultural
Oh, yeah, sure.
shock
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can you imagine me taking this guy out of the country for the
No.
first time? The first time is like
Canada, no. Mexico, no.
No, never
Oh,
been
wow.
to Mexico. Never been to Canada.
Wow.
I mean, I lived in New Jersey. I
well, that's practically another country, though.
went into New York City. That's the closest thing to going to another country.
Yeah.
But no, never.
the culture shock was incredible.
Yeah, that must have been.
Absolutely.
Those episodes were fun, just to get to hear your perspective on things.
Yeah, first night I was there. I had balut,
Yeah.
and
And
that had I wrote about that. I wrote a blog about it called "Balut, Sweat and Tears."
oh boy,
What it's like trying to eat balut for the first time.
the
Not
raw,
a good experience.
raw egg,
I mean-
right?
No, it's not raw. It's a steamed duck egg.
Embryo.
Yes. Embryo.
Like a full-on embryo.
It's-
Like you crack it open and the
crunchy.
little duck's
Yeah.
like
Crunchy
staring
and
back at
fuzzy.
you.
I think I tried to have that once,
Yes.
and then I saw a feather and said no, no.
So I chowed down on one of Donald's
Isn't
nephews.
man? Isn't there a story that some like you got waxed or something? Or is that a whole nother? Save that for the 300th episode.
No. He loves telling the story.
Yeah, I
getting
love
waxed.
telling that story. about
I
getting
should
waxed.
start that story because
You
it really
should start.
starts with me talking about it,
Yes.
and you talk about getting waxed.
Yes.
So we're in Kalibo, so we're down in the provinces, and
Hi, Sandy, if you're watching.
we're at my Auntie Sandy's house, and Steve is walking around. It's hot as hell in the Philippines, right? It's hot and it's humid.
Punch you
and
in the
however
face,
warm
humid.
I feel right now in this studio is nothing
Nah,
compared to what it's like
Arctic.
there.
Their chief
So
export is humidity.
So Steve's wearing like
Tank top.
you got to
and shorts.
understand. Steve is like the weirdest shade of white that you could have.
He's actually not
skin-wise.
wearing a shirt right now.
And we're standing down on the street, and Steve's in a it wasn't a tank top. It was just a sleeveless tee.
Okay.
And you had a towel that you
Yes.
carried around like a whoopee, so you could dry yourself off constantly. You and my mom both carried whoopies around.
Yes.
And then you were wearing shorts and shoes with white socks and.
Oh, sandals.
Was it sandals with
Sandals.
white socks?
No, I wasn't wearing socks.
I don't know. He's so white. I have a vision of white socks in my head. At any rate, Steve's standing on the sidewalk and his back hair is sticking out through his shirt, and a group of Catholic schoolgirls come walking by, and they're in their little outfits and they're cute and they're nice, and I kind of wave at them as they go walking by, and they walk past Steve. They get about 10 feet past Steve, and one of them looks back over her shoulder and starts giggling. She goes, he looks like a baboon.
Oh.
And they all start giggling. And Steve turns to me and goes, okay, it's time to get waxed.
I had been...
Because my mom been trying to get him to wax
Yes.
the whole time we'd been in the Philippines.
Not just your mom, your entire family.
The whole family was trying to get him waxed.
I was the whitest, hairiest
I kept
person
telling
on the
them, you
island.
wax him and he'll look like a beluga whale, but they didn't listen.
No.
So we take him to get waxed, and this poor girl, what was
Nika.
her name? Nika. She's like 4'11", maybe 5'1".
Yeah.
And
And weighs about, 98 pounds soaking wet.
It was everything she had to wax this guy, man.
I mean,
she was just drenched in sweat. Every pull was like torture. Not for him, not for her.
Oh, for her, no.
I actually took
all over me.
I actually took a stab at one of the pulls, and I gave it a yank and lost hold of it. Like the hair wouldn't come. Got about halfway through, and I had to go again. Going in for seconds.
Gotta understand, men don't get waxed in the Philippines, let alone American men.
Well, Filipinos generally don't have that much hair.
That hairy
Yeah.
and not that large. So,
So it was just a lot of mass
and
a
so
lot of volume.
Her strips weren't that long, and she's using this little popsicle stick to spread the wax on. So
Oh, boy.
it took 2 different days. I did my
mom
back
was dying the whole time.
Oh, my
The
God.
whole time. My mom's in the hallway.
She's just screaming.
Because it was up on the second floor of the building. So my mom would go up there and you'd hear her,
Hey,
Oh
don't
my
you have
God.
video? Don't you have video?
so funny. We do have videos somewhere.
Roll the clip.
I don't have it prepped for this show. But if there's enough interest, I will put together the waxing video of Steve in the Philippines.
Yeah.
If people really want to see it.
So poor little Nika. It took 2 different days to do front
2
and
trips
back,
to get front and back done.
to get front and back done.
That's awesome.
And
He tipped her like a month's wage.
yeah, I tipped her what it would the equivalent of a month's wage. She just looked at the money and was just like,
Ooh, you
she
come
turned
back.
to her friend. It's like, we're rich.
When you come back.
I heard she's since quit the business.
Ooh.
She's now disarming landmines from World War II. Something less stressful.
Nice.
He's been working on that line.
No, that was
I'm
great.
working on that
That
one
was
for
great.
years now.
Could have done a deflating one.
Yeah,
that
it was a
awesome.
lot of fun.
That was a good joke. Good.
You did get waxed
I approve
again
of your,
though when you came to the States.
Yeah, that was a
Punchline.
different experience
And it was
altogether.
like Helga's House of Pain.
Yeah, and this woman was maybe about 15 months pregnant, and she was ready to drop. This large German woman, and she just takes what looked like a trowel and just spread the wax on me, and then just took this big sheet on her arm and just went rip, 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 rip. Okay, turn over. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I was in and out of there in 10 minutes. Literally
2 days in the Philippines.
2 days
Wow.
in the
10
Philippines.
minutes with
10
Helga.
minutes with Helga.
Oof. And it cost me about $100, and I was like, I would never do that again. So now I'm shaving. So, and that's a whole
That's a
different
TMI,
experience. That's
I
a little TMI.
All right.
And we just lost half our viewers.
We've got a couple more videos. Let's take a look at these last 2 congratulations videos from some friends of ours.
Congratulations to the entire Intellectuals team on your 200 podcast. From Jordan Hates. And also Jordan Loves.
Hi, this is Lindsay Catt, wanting to wish the Intellectual Podcast sincere and heartfelt congratulations on 200 episodes. Well done. Thank you for the work.
Wow, cool. Thank you, Jordan.
I love Jordan's eye twitch at the end of it.
He does not like saying that.
And Lindsay Catt, one of the amazing musicians, one of many amazing musicians that we've had on the show. But Lindsay, we met at the Jerome Film Festival. Whitney and I did.
Okay.
Brian was there for that as well, and she was an absolute delight to talk to. And I've had a
Yeah, it was a
great time chatting with her since the podcast, even learning more and more.
To it, so
Fun.
So hopefully I can go to New York sometime, Lindsay, and get you on the show again, because there are so many more stories I know you have to tell. We should do another trip to New York.
Yes,
I had such a blast with Whitney out there a year ago. We should do that. We should take the Intellectual on the road. How's that sound?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sound good to you?
I like it.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay, so
What,
we're going to take the intellectual on the road.
We'll go to Jersey.
Which means we need your help for that.
Right.
We do have a Patreon page. So I will post the link to our Patreon page on the Facebook page. And if you care to help us out, become a patron of our show. And we'll start doing bigger things.
Yeah, Jordan hates.
It's all on you guys to help us out.
I'll get waxed on camera again.
Jordan, he had the web series Jordan Hates, and now it's Jordan Loves.
He's got the KPBS, and they didn't want Jordan Hates. They wanted Jordan
Loves. And then he's working on a feature called Jordan Meh.
We love Jordan. Jordan's great.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you so much for that video, Jordan. We appreciate it. So, it's been 4 years and 200 episodes. I'll be honest with you. We actually have 205 in the can.
Wow.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
So there are some coming. We've got interviews with Terry Ross, Carenza Laguerre, Letitia Baker, Jeff Zook, and Phoenix Webb coming up. So be looking out for those. What has been your guys'
favorite episode?
takeaway from being on the Intellectual Podcast?
Just the exposure. I just really enjoy talking to you, having people getting feedback from the stuff that we're doing, and also and I'm deflating again.
What was your favorite episode?
My favorite.
Or actually, do you want to finish that thought first, or we lost the moment, didn't we?
We lost the moment.
No, okay,
we'll just move on. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it on the next 100 podcasts. My favorite was probably when with hashtag Two Fingers. Definitely favorite one. And
certainly your most raw.
My
put everything
raw.
out there.
Yeah, and the one where I talked about drowning a VW Beetle.
No, that was also in the first 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Ooh, what about the Kathy Coleman? I thought that was going to be.
I thought actually that was one of the funnest episodes that I've done because it was the first time that I actually led an interview.
Yeah,
and
that was
it
the
showed.
interview. Yeah, no, it was a good one. It was a good one.
No, but it was amazing. It's an amazing story on how I met Kathy Coleman.
Yeah.
I was flying back to New Jersey, and I was with my brother, and we're rather large people, and we were sitting in the front of a Southwest plane, and the door was just about to close, and all of a sudden, this blonde woman comes in and takes the seat next to me, and thinking, okay.
Mic by your mouth. Mic by your mouth.
Mic by my mouth.
Only 200.
My brother and I
only
thinking,
200 episodes.
Yeah, only 200 episodes. My brother and I thinking, oh, the door's about to close. We're going to have room. We could, spread out a little bit. Two big guys, and enter Kathy, and she comes in. She sits. She puts this big bag in the the overhead. Sits down next to me, and she said, "You and I are going to be great friends."
Yeah.
For the next 5 hours.
Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
And
she doesn't talk like that.
She really doesn't. I don't.
Well, she has a bit of a raspy voice now.
Well.
But that's how I remember when the first thing that she said to me. And we got to talking, and we're looking at her going, we've seen you before. Where have we? And I said, I don't want to be that type of person. So where have we seen you? And she said, oh, well, have you ever watched Saturday morning programs, Saturday morning cartoons when you were kids? And I said, yeah, we grew up on them. So you ever watched Land of the Lost? And we both looked at her and said, Holly. and that's how we met. And we had such a great
giggling going on.
What's going on in the peanut gallery?
Did someone fart?
Microphone. What's going on over there, guys?
Jessica Henson says you guys should do more lives like this. It's fun with the interaction.
Huh. Cool.
Okay, cool.
William Wall.
Oh, William
Wall.
Bill Wall.
Fabulous lavender blazer, David S. Dawson.
Yes.
Is that lavender? I dig it.
William Wall, he's probably, in his loungewear, still in a tie, though.
Well, I showed up for something recently. I think it was the screening of the 48s, and I wasn't wearing a jacket. And William just read me the riot act. So
he requests that, can I see all three of you pretend your microphones are shake weights at the same time?
That sounds awesome.
Sounds awesome.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Cool. So Kathy Coleman,
that's your favorite?
She should be in your list.
Yes,
top three.
Definitely,
top three.
Definitely
for sure.
top three. Because
what about you, Mark?
I mean,
She got me into Comic-Con.
You just got eight laughing faces.
There's a lot of good ones. The ones when we got drunk with Randy, those were always fun. A lot of local ones. But I think when I think about if I had to choose one or two or three, I'd probably call out the what I call the Screen Junkies trilogy.
Right.
For me, that was a good time. I was like obsessed with it at the time.
We went up there and we had John Bailey.
John Bailey was a riot. And we drove him around L.A. on Friday, Memorial Day weekend.
I was my ribs hurt because we were laughing so
He was
hard.
so funny in the car.
He was funny in the car.
He talked to your friend on the phone as Optimus Prime. Right?
Yeah.
He called him and he grabs the phone and says, "Who are you, human?
Who are you, human?"
That was great. That was awesome. And then, of course, Hal Rudnick was a good time. We met him at
Nick Mundy, right?
Nick Mundy. We actually went to his house. Yeah. So I don't know. Those three are the ones that stick out the most. If I think.
Yeah, that was a fun group.
That was
a group of guys
trilogy.
To talk to. Yeah. And they are, of course, they're colleagues. They're doing the same thing that we're doing.
I see them at all the cons, WonderCon, Comic-Con, and they say hi.
They do recognize.
And John Bailey just recently moved to L.A.
Yeah, he's here. And lost a whole bunch of weight.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
And you guys did too in the last year.
Did Steve's mic cut out? Is that what happened? Oh. The shake weight ruined the mic. The shake weight ruined the mic. So anyway, so those were fun.
Yeah,
those were a lot of fun. I think Chuck and Tom was like an amazing moment for me. But I think for me the thing that I'm always going to remember the most is doing that very first episode with Steve, because it was the start of something that has become incredibly special and incredibly important in my life, and I think in your guys' lives as well, because it's done so much for all of us. It's opened so many doors. It's introduced us to so many people, and I've said it a lot on the show. You just got to show up. Showing up is the most important part of anything we do. And that whole first year, the only goal we had in that first year wasn't to get celebrities on the show. No, it wasn't to get onto any red carpets. The goal that year was just to do one show a week, every week, consistently for 52 weeks.
Yeah.
And we met that goal, and we didn't miss a week until we were into the hundreds.
No. I mean,
so, I mean, to you guys, all the dedication that you put into it, Jessica Gerain, Krista Naomi, Whitney Wegman, and Jessica Henson and William Henson when they were on the Sci-Fi Sunday podcast, because it was the same thing with that show.
Your cousin,
consistency.
Right?
My cousin Eric, all of you who have contributed to this show, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of something that has been so important and so special to me. I hope that what we do here has been beneficial to everybody who's been a part of it, and to everybody who's been listening in and watching and growing with us as we grow the show and do incredible new things like live streaming a show. I remember we did the 100th episode live on stage. It was like our first time doing something on stage.
Bowman. Bowman. Then we did the second year with Chase.
Yeah, and we did the 2-year with Chase. And actually, Chase Masterson, she had difficulty getting a video off to us today. She tried, but she was unable to get a video to us for the broadcast.
That's another.
But I think we'll have her on again soon too as well.
That was another moment.
She's cool.
Yeah, I caught the gnat. Right, that was flying.
Oh yeah, like Mr. Miyagi.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we're really kind of winding up. Is there anything else anybody has said and wants us to say?
Any requests?
We'll give you 16 seconds to one last chance to make us dance.
We could act out a scene from What's the Vig.
Oh, and thank you to everybody who came out to the What's the Vig screening at Film Week.
Oh, that was a fun one.
That was a lot of fun. It was incredible. Throwing stuff at the screen and whatever.
Drinking whenever I did something weird.
So, all right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been the 200th episode of the Intellectual Podcast. I've been sitting with my co-hosts,
Mark Atkinson,
Stephen Schwartz,
and I'm David S. Dawson. From all of us here at Intellectual Entertainment, thank you so much for listening in, for watching, for following all the things that we've been doing. We're going to keep bringing you content here on the Intellectual Podcast. We're going to keep trying to build the Intellectual Talk Show TV series as well. This may be the start of something new for that. And we're going to keep making movies and TV series and pushing the envelope. We are San Diego filmmakers. We are San Diego podcasters. We are proud to be from this city. And we will continue to be here with you every step of the way in the future. Thank you so much. This has been our 200th episode. Good night.
Thanks for coming out.
Hello there, citizens. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times you try in the toilet bowl of crime. I am Darkwing Duck, telling you please, talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. Whatever the heck that means. After all, you are watching Intellectual Podcast with your ears.